Okay, peace to the gods, peace to the gods. Got a got another video review for you today. No people are just getting in. Got another video somebody sent to me. Been looking at it for a while, so I'm going to do a review off of this. Real quick, the last video, I was lazy. I should have edited that video before I did it. But they took that little last part, where I showed where the attorney was talking to the people on the phone. Well, they wanted to get part of my monetization, so I had to clip that part out. That's why I took it out. It's about 2 minutes of the video, but it was a part where, he was talking about why he dropped the case. And it was, some BS, but whatever. I put the link to the original video. Always look in the description. Don't be in the comment section asking me, can you give me a link to your, look, motherfucker, look in the fucking description of the video, okay? Don't call me asking me about it. If I want you to see something, I'll put it in the description of the video. Send me text, man. Where's the original link? Anyway, peace, everybody. Thank you, Miguel Angel, for the $1.99. Let's get these likes up. And let's get some donations going. Super chats get answered first. If you got a question, you might as well put on the super chat or the chat or something like that. Because I ain't answering no questions unless it's blue, yellow, whatever. One of them colors pop up on the screen, on the screen. That's like, make my attention go. Does SBC offer basics for those who know nothing? And how long will membership be for $49 a month? Let me put it like this. I'm glad you asked that question. $49 a month is for life. It's not going up. Your membership fees are not going up. When I say it's going up, I'm saying I'm going to raise the price to get a membership back next month. So if you want to lock in on $49, this is the time to do it now. As a matter of fact, all of my old members, I'm reducing their monthly membership. So if you're a current member of SBC University, I'm reducing your membership. Right now, I'm going, we got a lot of people, so I haven't gotten everybody, but I'm reducing everybody's membership to $49, whether you got platinum, gold, silver, whatever. Everybody's just going to be $49 across the board. So I'm seeing how this goes, and seems to be going very well. We've, almost tripled enrollment, so it seems to be going very well. Thank you, William Simmons. I appreciate that. So that was a good question. And as far as for the beginners, I try to make all my YouTube videos for the beginners. That's what I try to do. That's how I got it in my head. I got it in my head. For the people who don't know much, I try to make these videos on YouTube for the people who don't know much. Because that's what I did, and that's what you should do. You should spend a lot of time getting free information. You should spend the bulk of your time getting as much free information as you can. I appreciate that, Timothy Starks. I've always been like this and told people to do this. I say, look, don't come over there and join SBC University till you get a little knowledge under your belt and you understand what you're doing. And that is what's going to be today's video review is going to be about. I'm going to be reviewing a video of someone who is new to this and they had an arraignment and somebody's telling them what to say. And we're going to go over the script, okay, of what they're saying and why I don't like things like this. And today is a perfect example of why you use YouTube to learn before you come over to the school. All right. And I'm glad people are signing up. I appreciate it. Let's get the likes up. We got 57 likes. Let's see if we can I'll start the video review when I get to 100 likes. How about that? When we get to 100 likes, I'll start the video review. I appreciate that, Timothy Starks, for the 100 bones. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I just get so excited when people, donate. We had 60 likes right now. We're trying to get up to 100 likes so we can get this thing kicked off. Somebody said he just signed up. I'm glad I did. I'm glad you did too. All right. $299 down, no credit, last Dragon Manifest. I don't know what that is. All right, about 330. Peace. That's 73 likes. I might as well answer a couple of questions. Let me put it up on the screen. And it's an audio. You don't see nobody's face, which I think is, I'm always kind of like, I be tripping out when I see stuff like that, like people. But this is pretty interesting. We're gonna, not only am I going to review the video, I'm also going to go over the script. I'm going to show you where they got the script from that they're saying. The script that they're utilizing in this video, it was the first thing I learned. It was the very first thing I learned to say in court. Very first thing I learned to say in court. Now, I want you to look at their reaction. I think it's a very, very good, it's going to be a very, very good coaching tool. I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. I believe so. All right, so where we at? We at 104, so let's get it going. All right, so let's get right into it.
This is the Superior Court, we call ourselves, of Maricopa County.
Is this a court record?
Yes, is this a court of record?
Is there a court report?
Is there a court reporter? Yes. Okay, then this is a court of record?
This is the Superior Court, we call ourselves, of Maricopa County.
Is this a court record?
Yes, is this a court of record?
Is there a court report?
Is there a court reporter? Yes. Okay, then for the record, I'm the holder in due course. Here's a third-party intervener making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant. I accept for value and return for value all charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption as principal available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case.
Ma'am, would you stop reading what you're looking at there? Tell me your name and your date of birth.
I am the holder in due course. Here's a third-party intervener making.
Okay. This is what I mean when I say watch my videos before you come over to the school. It's been a long time ago that they have gotten where people don't answer to the name that's going to get you a warrant. So address the name and address the questions that they ask you. Obviously she's nervous. It's her first time. Somebody's telling her what to say and he can hear everything that he's saying. They're going to make they're going to let him know that too. I can hear somebody telling you what to say. Do you really think something is going to be effective when they can hear you and somebody in the background telling you what to say? You think that's going to be effective? And you're on the record, you're on a video, they're recording it, everybody can hear. Sometimes we have to use our common sense. I had a teacher in the 9th grade. Was it the 9th grade? I think it was my 9th. I can't remember if it was 9th, 10th, 11th grade. They may have been 11th grade I was in. He was my American history teacher. And everybody loved this guy. And he used to always say, common sense is that sense by which no other sense makes any sense at all. And I remember that to this very day because he's right, because there's a lot of people that lack common sense in this world today. You see them with this, identifying as something and everything, but you got to use a little bit of common sense when you're going to do some things like this. Granted, you're new, you don't understand, but you're just regurgitating something. Now, I had to regurgitate something because I was in a situation where I was on a time restraint, only had about 3 months to study before I went into court. I didn't have any help. I was in jail, and they took me from the jail into the courtroom, and I only had the information to study that was there in the jail with me, and I had 90 days to prepare for it. So under those conditions, I think I did pretty well. But if you're free on the street, you should take advantage of all the resources that are available to you on the street and utilize those. So real quick, before we get into this any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the script that they're going to be saying so you can understand what is being said. Damn Amber Alerts just be going off. All right. This document is dealing with presentments. See if we can now I made an audio book out of this. I'm redoing it right now. But this right here was one of the first documents I ever got. Whoever wrote this is extremely intelligent. I didn't write it. But it's 7 parts. This is the part that talks about everything from the UPU, Universal Postal Union, to what color ink that you should use on documents. A lot of different topics get covered in this particular document. A presentment, in case you're wondering, is a negotiable instrument, but it also can be something that the grand jury issues, for an indictment and so forth. We'll take a little time to look up the definition of presentment. You should, if anybody wants to do it now, the legal definition of presentment, just put it in the chat so people can see. But right here in part 4 is where they get it, and this is what I'm going to go through right now, is just part 4. And I'm going to read this whole thing to you. It's part 3. All right, part 4. Redemption in court. The following are points allegedly derived from Roger E. material on the redemption or 3-question approach to functioning in court. Now, Roger E. is talking about Roger Elbert. Now, if you know him, he's in prison right now in Colorado. Allegedly, he was a part of the Posse Comitatus. A lot of people, they try to associate a lot of this with the Posse Comitatus. I'm doing a lot of research on them right now as we speak. They try to say it was a white racist organization. That's not completely true at all. They're taking a lot of stuff off of the internet that shows that that's not true too. It's amazing how much stuff, y'all don't understand why I have this SBC University. They taking so much stuff off the internet. Y'all don't have a clue. They're going to scrape the internet of all this information. Y'all better start download anything that you can off the internet, including videos. Download them. All right. Now, let's look at the background. I'm going to read through this entire chapter before we go into, and I'm going to give you the dialogue because the video is real short. It's not a long video, but the whole entire video is based off of this section coming out of dealing with presentments. So let's read it real quick. Background. The word law comes from law. The L was originally a double L, which came from hieroglyphs signifying 2 legs walking. Law, however, is an obstruction because the 2 legs walking around show that law is constantly changing. In the United States, for example, Americans get to live under approximately 150,000 new laws every year passed by combined federal, state, and municipal legislatures. In 1984, there were over 200,000 such new laws. We have been informed by attorneys, as well as Westlaw, Lexis and Nexus, etc., that the law changes so rapidly that in many cases, an attorney must check to see what the law is today before he goes to court. My retort each time I was informed of that was, what if natural law behaved in so unstable a manner? Now, what it is, they got this word called good law. I want you to write down the word good law. Okay, you have to shepherdize case law to still see if it's still good law. Has it changed? Has the ruling changed on something? Just because you see a citation of authority on a document doesn't mean that it's still good. It could have changed. It could have been a new ruling against that. That's why you got to make sure it's something that's still good law. I want you to write that word down. It's a legal term, good law. Good law, right there. That's a very important word for you to know. Especially for all you people like to go on the internet and cherry pick citations off of the internet and say, hey, don't you have to follow this? And you don't even know what to shepherdize a citation of authority. You don't even know what that means. That's why I say you got to be able to go to the law library if you're going to do any of this work. Or at least know how to use Westlaw or something like that. You don't have to go to the law library. You can get Westlaw or something like that. But anyway, Number 2, a court is a place where a contract or an agreement is made. A court is a commercial register. One consequence of this is that all courts are courts of record. Indeed, there's nothing with which a judge can deal except the record. How can a judge act in the absence of paperwork in his possession that inform him what a case is? In accordance with the principle of agreements, if someone fails to respond in protest, you, in essence, have an agreement that includes a stipulation that he is in dishonor. I want you to write down that word stipulation, all right? That means agreement of the parties. Legal term, stipulation. When you are formulating an agreement, the first thing you need is the name of the second party. This is why in court you first ask the judge if you may have his name. Note, the court is working on an assumption of contract, not an agreement in fact. Now, when we get to this video, you're going to see that's not the first thing that was asked. What is your name? May I have your name, please? All right. You always ask for their name. And it's going to explain why. The reason you ask for your name is because you need something on record, because if you're going to lien somebody up or file a claim against someone, that person's name needs to be on the record. Not telling you to lien anybody up. I'd strike that from the record because y'all get crazy with this lien. Lien them up! So let's look at the procedure and dialogue now. The redemption dialogue makes the court proceeding into a deposition that you are conducting for the purpose of establishing on the record who the claimant is in the case. You are there under threat, duress, and coercion, since guaranteed harmful repercussions are inevitable if you do not appear when or as commanded. You are also there because someone, somewhere, has made a claim or color of claim, implying or calling what they allege without foundation a claim against you that allegedly justifies enforcing the claim against you by using the legal violence system. By engaging in this deposition, you're actualizing the maxim of law that the burden of proof resides on him who asserts, not him who denies. I was just looking at a video and somebody says, who's the burden of proof on? And the judge said, I don't know, you tell me. You know, he kept on asking the judge, you don't know what the maxim of law is? The burden of proof is on he who asserts, not he who denies. You asking the judge this question. In other words, you, as the creditor, owner of the court, and both sides of the transaction, are requiring them to put up or shut up. When you go into court like this, you are exercising your rights under public international law to determine what kind of business these people are trying to do with you. In any interexchange between you and the judge, whether it is you requesting that the judge answer something you are asking him, or him asking you a question, you must persist until the judge sees that you're not going to give in. It's one of those things I say they do the psychological test on you. This is perhaps especially important if or when a judge asks you to state your name or ask if you are so-and-so. He may ask at least 3 times since the system functions in threes. And I always wondered about this Schoolhouse Rock, you know, the video 3 is a magic number, and everything does operate in threes. It's just like, you know, the solid, liquid, gas, you know, mental, spiritual, physical, you know, even in nature, you know, it's these 3, it's this number 3, seems to be in 369. Tesla talks about those numbers are gateways to other dimensions. It's really interesting, this number 3. But I've also noticed this too, that if you ask them something 3 times, it's like these are like some of the esoteric things you need to know when you go into the courtroom. These guys are all Masons and Illuminati and, you know, Rosicrucians. They belong to different orders, so they know a lot of things. Don't sleep on them now, and don't sleep on this information that you're getting. So that number 3, a lot of times you'll ask them something, and it'll look like they'll ignore you, and you got to ask them again. These are the things that I tell people to read, and they don't read, and then they come back and they talk about what something didn't work. Well, it's the nuances of the information that you haven't grasped or understand because you refuse to read. So that's why I'm going to read for you today like we in kindergarten, and I have to read it for you because I know you're not going to read it. You're not going to read it. You're not going to. Now, some people have told me, and I understand, I apologize. You can't see, you're handicapped, or you have a reading disability. Me being, you know, having been in jail, I can understand that. And I don't want to, you know, shit on anyone who has a reading disability. I remember I had a friend in jail, had his friend, right? And we were real cool. You know, we were real cool. And, you know, we used to play cards together. And what else we used to do? We play a lot of cards. And I love this guy. And we had a cell phone. We snuck in. We were sharing all kind of stuff. And I was, we were talking one day. He brought me some mail that he got from court. He got some mail from court, and he brought it to me. He said, hey man, and he understood I knew a little law, and I pulled it out and I read it, and it said something about a court date or something like that. And I said, oh man, this ain't nothing but a court date. You didn't see it? And I handed him the letter, expecting him to read it, and he looked at me funny and looked at the paper and looked at me, and I instantly understood that he couldn't read. And I didn't embarrass him. I said, oh man, I just took it back and said, oh man, all it's saying is blah, 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 blah. And I always remember that, like a lot of times when you see me doing the videos where I'm making the slides and reading to you, a lot of times that's what that's for. But I always remember that situation. There's a lot of cats out there in jail. They got access to cell phones. They can watch YouTube and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of cell phones in jail like a motherfucker. I get text all the time, dudes in jail. All the phone calls. Motherfucker doing consultations. Halfway through the consultation, oh man, I'm locked up, man. I think you locked up. Yeah, man, I'm locked. Always right in the middle of it. But that's why I do that. All right. So I understand that some people may not can read, but they can hear. So for all of you, all right, practice reading. If you can't read, you can learn. You can learn and listen. All right. So here it is. This is redemption in court. So number one, the first thing you do is ask the judge for his name so the record is set concerning the parties entered into the agreement. Therefore, when your name is called, you say, I'm here concerning that matter. May I have your name, please? Request number one. Now, you got to understand that a court is a place where agreements are made. Isn't that what the prosecutors are doing to you when he tries to get you to take a plea agreement? Agreements are made. So we're looking for agreements, so we need the names of the contracting parties. All right? Now, here, this may be a little bit outdated or archaic. I'm here concerning that matter. They're going to keep pressing you for your name. So let's not haggle over the name. Spell it out for them, lowercase, uppercase, and the Christian appellation of your name. And if you want to spell it, then say I'm the authorized representative for the all caps or whatever. Or, I'm here as the authorized representative for the defendant in this matter. All right, and I'm appearing, and I'm making a special appearance in my improper persona or in my own person or whatever. We'll get into all of that, but you understand. Find something to say. Be creative. Don't just say what I just said word for word. Hell, them people is listening. They on here listening too. Why are you gonna regurgitate what I'm saying? You are sovereign. I figure out a way to put it in your own words. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But just understand the principles that support what you're saying and understand what it is that you're saying. So number two, pay attention to the fact that most judges and justices prefer to give their title, not their name. Now, what was really interesting in this particular video, the judge gave his name. He didn't give his title. And what that means is a lot of times judges will just say, my name is Judge so-and-so. Well, that's not your name. That's not the name that's registered at the Secretary of State. I've gotten a lot of judges' oath of offices, and I haven't seen one oath of office that says Judge so-and-so. It has John Henry Doe on there, okay? Because that's the real man. That's the real man, all right? That is the person I'm looking for, all right? Because the real man took an oath to uphold the Constitution for the United States of America, and the real man is the person that is going to be held personally liable if they don't uphold their oath to the Constitution of the United States of America. So I need to know your name, all right? So pay attention to the fact that most judges, justices prefer to give their title, not their name, as I just explained. If the judge gives his name request, would you please spell that for me? If the judge gives his title, such as Judge Smith, requests your offer of communication is accepted for value and your dishonest return, would you please state your name, not your title? I've had a judge do that to me before. I said, may I have your name, please? They said, Judge so-and-so. I said, your offer of communication is accepted for value, your dishonest return. Would you please give me your name and not your title? All right, that's the title. I need something that's going to go into a commercial register. And that's what is talked about right here. All right, number 5, if the judge states that it is so-and-so, Judge so-and-so, you can ask him, is Judge so-and-so, such as Judge Smith, the same Judge Smith that is registered with the Secretary of State? If not, it is fraud and the entire matter is void because the judge is doing business as a name and therefore is a different entity. And that by which is registered is authorized to do business, another derivative. In other words, I asked you what your name is. Your name is not Judge so-and-so. Judge so-and-so, that's a title. I said, what is your name? All right, not your title. Not your all caps. Now, and then that's what sometimes they'll do. They'll start pointing at their nameplate in front of them. See, right here, this is my name. Right here, see? Right here, right here. They'll start doing that. Okay, now if the judge won't give his name, then go ahead with your second request anyway. If someone with whom you are dealing in court fails to respond or is standing mute, it means you are in control and he is waiving his rights. Request number 2, do you have a claim against me? He will either stand mute or he will decline to answer, signifying his intent to demur to the matter. Now, this is where you got to get good because sometimes they'll get silent and you don't know what to do. That's why I always say there's nothing wrong with somebody constantly requesting that they dismiss the case. Like dude did in the last video. I love what he was doing. He said, I want this. Anytime somebody asks you, what do you want? Your answer should always be, I want this dismissed with prejudice. All right. So, do you have a claim against me is a very powerful statement. You're going to see it in here. It's a very powerful statement to make on the record. Do you have a claim against me? Do you know anyone who does have a claim against me? I request the honorable judge direct the prosecutor to provide the assessment for the charges along with the certified audit trail of all transactions, including vouchers, as well as all disbursement documents and receipts. This whole thing right here, I committed it to memory within the 90 days when I was waiting to go in. I committed, dudes in jail, they were calling me Crazy Joe. They called me Crazy Joe because everybody thought I talked to myself in jail. They all thought I talked to myself. That nigga crazy. They would see me up on, they had this like balcony, and every time they let us out, I'd be walking in a circle because I'd read it. I understood. See, ever since I was young, I had a good memory, but I always practiced memorizing things. Like that's why I always memorize. I do spoken word. I commit everything to memory. So I understood how my mind worked through repetition to remember something. So I'd walk around, I'd look at it, I keep repeating it to myself until it impressed on my subconscious mind. And they were watching me do all this and everybody thought I was crazy. But I knew I was on a time frame. Time was of the essence because I had been sent my court date and I knew I had to be prepared to go to court. And so I knew I had to have all this committed to memory because I understood that the one thing that can never be taken away from you is information that you put in your mind. You can lose a piece of paper. Somebody can arrest you and take your paperwork from you. All right. But one thing they can't never take is what is in your head. So you always make sure that you put things in your head. Do not depend on paperwork. I can't tell you the number of times. I remember one time I was in solitary confinement and they were getting pissed with me. I was coming into court, whooping on them. And the last time I came into court, I guess it made them real mad. So, I was in a cell by myself. So I had paperwork all over the place. So they came in, they said, Jones, they said, pack your stuff, you're moving. And we finna move you in 10 minutes. I said, get your shit and we're moving. You know how they do in jail. They don't even, so I'm packing, throwing stuff, and they gave me this big army duffel bag to put everything in. And I had so much paperwork, it filled up my entire duffel bag because I was just taking a lot of notes out of American jurisprudence when I was in there. I was studying law from American jurisprudence and the Supreme Court Lawyers Edition. That's an excellent book if you ever get your hands on that. That's an excellent book, man. And also the United States Code Services, and United States Code Annotated. All right. So those kind of the books I had that I was kind of pulling from when I was doing all my research. American jurisprudence being one of the most important. You're going to find a lot. Whatever subject you want to know about in law, I would suggest that you start with those. Those are legal encyclopedias. And that will give you a general understanding of it. And then you can branch off from there into your state and find out how your state, because each state is not exactly the same. All right. So, but that's a good place to learn fundamentals about things. So I started there, and he packed up all my stuff. They take your stuff when they moving you. They take all your property and put it somewhere. So they took all my property, set me in a room like 2 hours, and then came back, brought my stuff, say, now we might moving you. Put me back in my cell. I went in my bag, and all my paperwork was gone. They want to study. The judge then told them, get the paperwork. We want to see what he's doing. I'm giving you insider information. You may not never find yourself in jail. However, if you do, okay, I'm giving you insight. You'll be prepared for what I'm telling you right now. All right, because I think I went through the entire gamut. I've been on diesel therapy. I've been on that. If you don't know what that is, I've been on all that where they ship you all around the country. Don't let your property catch up with you. You can't make no phone calls or nothing like that. They take you all over the place. Been to the, been on Con Air on the airplane, all that kind of stuff. Been on a bus by myself from Georgia to Miami. That's how I found that the Miami courthouse down in Miami was shaped like a ship. I'm the one who put that out for all y'all, that the Miami courthouse is a ship, because they had me up there on like the 11th floor or something like that, and I was looking down at the courthouse. I was like, that's a damn ship, because I could see right down on the courthouse. They have the grass cut like water. It's Admiralty, but they'll try to tell you that it's not. But you're going up on a ship. Look, somebody Google the courthouse, and let me see if I put it up on the screen right now. This is it right here. So, you can see it right here. It's a shipping dock. You see that right there? It's a shipping dock. So, I was on the building, like one of these buildings. I was probably that building right there. And I could look down. I could see, I said, man, that's a ship that's in dock. That's docked in a port. On land, taking us on a ship. But, of course, we're not talking about Admiralty or nothing like that. You see that? That's a damn ship, man. It's a boat and dry dock. It's a boat and dry dock. That's early when they were just building it. But if you look at the recent pictures of it, I was trying to see, they got a picture. They got the grass cut like water. So it looked like it's water. And everybody going in that building probably don't even know that they're going into a ship. All right? So it was just things like that I was finding. I'm like, damn, man, this is a damn ship, man. This is a damn ship. All right, so let's get back. Put stuff in your head, commit things to memory. Now, so where we at? Number 6. Now, if the judge won't give his name, then go ahead with your second request. Okay, we already did. Number 7. We're on number 7. All right. When you receive a no answer or no response or a non-responsive response, go on to request number 3. Do you know anyone who does have a claim against me? Note that you do not say any person or anybody that has a claim. It is anyone who has a claim against me, namely a living principal who is alive and breathing in the real world. You're not pleading into a fiction or a legislative venue, which is a major legislative presumption on which the court functions. This presumption stands unless neutralized. They are presuming that you're dealing with fictions. So don't use any terminology that is related to fictions like the word person. Number 8. Because it's you, they got the state, see, them attorneys is looking right now, I know what they're saying, he's crazy what he's talking about, but these motherfuckers will have on the caption of that pleading, the state of Georgia versus John Henry Doe, and know good and goddamn well the state of Georgia is a legal fiction. Now, how in the fuck is a legal fiction going to go against me? How in the hell, if I got a right to face my accuser, okay, and the accuser is right there on the caption of the pleading, I can't call him to the witness stand. I can't call the state of Georgia to the witness stand. We're going to get into that in here in a little bit, all right? They try to play this game. We're dealing with legal fictions, man. I'm going to tell these people what it is. We're dealing with, be intimately familiar with the name legal fiction. And like I said in the last video, their Bible for that is Legal Fictions by Lon Fuller, F-U-L-L-E-R. Lon Fuller. If the prosecutor answers you by saying something like the state of California has a claim against you, you can say either, Your Honor, would you please direct the prosecutor to produce an assessment for the charges, or I call the claimant to the witness stand, or I call the state of California to the witness stand. Because you said the state of California got a claim against me. I'm calling you against the witness. I'm calling you to the witness stand. I got a right to face my accuser. That's why traffic tickets don't work. Them damn traffic cams, that's why they're hard for them to get you on that. Because they taking a video of it, you got a right to face your accuser. And the damn traffic court cam can't come to court. That's why they're trying to do everything digital. They're going to start making, they're looking for ways to force you to do things. That's what they're doing. Everything, if you want to participate in their system, they look for a way to get you to force you to do stuff. What's going on here? I'm trying to figure out why it's blinking so much. Let me see if I can start that blinking. I don't know why it's doing that, y'all. I'm gonna have to look and see why it's blinking like that. All right. That might have. And I just updated this software, man. I wonder if they just screwed it up. Anyway, let me keep going. We'll just deal with the blinking, and I'll get it off the screen in a minute. All right, let's keep going. Okay, the prosecutor, okay, so we're going number 9. Now, if you receive a no answer or non-responsive reply to your request for the judge to inform you whether he knows anyone who has a claim against you, and the prosecutor also says no, then continue by directing the judge first position as a request statement. I request that Judge so-and-so please direct the prosecutor to answer whether there are any more charges. Asking the judge this cuts down on any more assumed charges. On a good day, the prosecutor will refuse to answer and the judge will dismiss the case on the spot. Number 10, at this point, you can direct the judge second position as a request statement. I request that Judge so-and-so please direct the prosecutor to answer whether the assessment for the charges are in his possession. Making this request of the judge forecloses the system from acting on the otherwise unneutralized assumption that you are not concerned whether there is a civil assessment to justify the charges. Without an assessment, there can be no charges. Subsection 18 and 19 below. Asking this question puts the prosecutor in trouble, as if he does not immediately drop the charges, he's practicing law without a license, which is a felony. I don't know about that. I never been able to verify that. I've been looking for it. However, there is to be an assessment for the charges. All right. At this point, you can direct the judge third position as a request statement. I request that Judge so-and-so direct the prosecutor to provide the assessment for the charges, along with a certified audit trail of all transactions, help of the mayor of the municipality and the applicable risk management department, including the voucher, and all disbursement documents and receipts. At this point, direct the judge fourth position as a request statement. I request that the judge please direct the prosecutor to provide the serial placement number of his bar card. Note, many times the prosecutor is not qualified even to be there, which is often the situation in federal court. And the bar card, which is an OMB number, can be used as a number for a surety bond. And that's something that you can go into the courthouse. You see all the judges, like in Fulton County here in Georgia, they got a damn board posted with all the judges and they bar card. They don't have their bar card. And I had a judge pull me to the side, said, we've been having a lot of attorneys come in here without a bar card. They'll go in there anyway. Attorneys do it all the time because they need money. At this point, you can direct the judge fifth position as a request statement. I request that Judge so-and-so please direct the record if he has a subject matter jurisdiction. Note that there are no further charges, no assessment for the current charges, and no subject matter jurisdiction. The court is in a forfeit position. If you elect to utilize the appearance bond within the redemption approach, this will be the place to bring the matter up. As of this writing, requesting an appearance bond may be eclipsed by the single-page court bond on court pleading paper. Then your sixth position consists of the request for the appearance bond. Making this request, in effect, puts your name on the account and thereby charges the account so that then the appearance bond is discharged. By appearance, the operators of the account are put into immediate and voluntary bankruptcy, which is something, I'm going to tell y'all a story about this bankruptcy. And I'm gonna pause right here and we're gonna watch the video now. But I'm gonna tell you a story about this bankruptcy. I remember, when I was going through my ordeal, there was this white guy. He was a wealthy white man. We got arrested. And they had just passed a law here in Georgia that allowed them to listen to tap phones without a warrant. Something like that. Don't quote me on that. But I just know that after that law got passed, they started arresting a whole lot of people, bringing them in jail. and he got caught up in that. Now, this is what he told me. I don't know if it's true, but this is what he told me. He said that he got on a sting on some marijuana. He got like a pound of marijuana or something like that. And he told me his son was using his cell phone and did the marijuana deal, and they tapped the phone and they arrested him because he was on the phone. He was getting released from jail because we were standing out in the Sally Port while he was getting released, and we were just conversating. And he looked very, very relaxed. And he told me, I'm not worried about this. I'm just going to file bankruptcy. When he said that to me, I was like, because I had read this right here, and I looked at him like, how the fuck do you know that? He said, I'm going to file bankruptcy. Because, see, you can use a B-10 proof of claim form and then haul them into bank. Now, it's supposed to be involuntary bankruptcy. And in bankruptcy court used to be 90% of the people went to bankruptcy court was involuntary bankruptcy, meaning the creditor filed bankruptcy against the debtor. Now, 90% is the debtor filing bankruptcy to protect themselves against the creditor, but that's not the history of the bankruptcy court. And they've modified the involuntary bankruptcy rules a little bit where you have to have two people, I think, claim and so forth. They made it because they know all this information. When you start trying to do this stuff, you're going to see the roadblocks that they put in place. Like, okay, somebody else been here before me and they know it. Now they didn't put up some roadblocks to stop you from doing it. Because you got to think, if it's a claim, then we're dealing with what? Some sort of pecuniary matter, something about money, some sort of creditor and debtor relationship, which naturally can involve the bankruptcy court. If somebody talks about they have a claim, because that's what a B-10 proof of claim form is. Now, that is what's on your letter of rogatory, your attorney letter, when you're instructing your public defender to read things into the record. One of them is, hey, look, tell them if they don't do this, I'm going to file involuntary bankruptcy against them, and I'm going to issue them a B-10 proof of claim form. Then we can take it in there and we can find out from there. I've never done this before, so don't ask me. I didn't have an opportunity to do it. But at the same time, I feel like it's good information. All I can do right now is pass on information to you. And a scenario I found myself in, when that man, I feel like God gives me signs. And when I saw that guy in the Sally Port and how comfortable he was, and when he said that to me, he said he ain't worried about the felony charge. He was going to file bankruptcy. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how the fuck? And I had this, and I've been reading this, and I was trying to understand the involuntary bankruptcy and why I understood that the principle behind it. We're dealing with something civil in nature. So they're going to, some sort of penal action, which is civil. It's criminal, but it's civil. And so, this was the thoughts behind it. Maybe you could do some research out there and uncover a lot more information than the one I'm giving you right here. Okay? I appreciate that. Now, y'all rolling with me so far? Y'all rolling with me so far? John Holmes, thank you for the $4.99. BMG Trust, thank you for the $9.99. I appreciate that. Timothy Starr, thank you. I appreciate all of the donations, all right? So let's keep going. So, with that being said, let's get back and watch the rest of this video. All right, the rest of this video. Now that I'm primed you a little bit and you understand, now you can follow along and understand what is happening here, okay? What is happening here? All right. So I'm going to start it from the beginning.
Making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant, Your Honor. Special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant, Your Honor. This is a court of record.
This is the Superior Court we call ourselves of Maricopa County.
Is this a court record?
Yes, is this a court of record?
Is there a court report?
Yes.
Is there a court reporter? Yes. Okay, then for the record. Is there a court reporter? Yes. Okay, then for the record, I'm the holder in due course. Here's a third-party intervener making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant. I accept for value and return for value all charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption as principal available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case.
Ma'am, would you stop reading what you're looking at there? Tell me your name and your date of birth.
I am the holder in due course. Here is a third-party intervener making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant, Your Honor.
I accept for
That
value.
doesn't make any sense to me.
I
You must
accept
have
for
a
value.
name.
I accept for value.
I accept for value in return for value all charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption as principal available for discharge of
Ma'am,
all.
we can proceed in one of two ways. You can tell me your name and your date of birth, or I can issue a warrant for your arrest.
Can you? Read.
Your Honor,
Ma'am, I need your name. Your picture here shows the same individual as I'm speaking to as your name, Erica Beth Trudell, date of birth February 28, 1973.
Just read this.
Your Honor, might I understand that the Honorable Judge has made a judicial determination that I'm not afforded due process rights and freedom of speech in these proceedings? For the
You are
record.
absolutely afforded due process and freedom of speech. I just need your name and your date of birth.
Okay. Just say it all right.
Your Honor, for the record, capital E, small r, small I, small c, small a, I'm the holder in due course here as a third-party intervener making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the
Now
defendant.
read the rest. Read
I
everything.
accept for value and return intervener making
It's getting kind of hard to watch. But what does it mean to say I'm the holder in due course? I remember when I first went into court and I was on the phone and I was talking to my boy on the phone. He said, just go in the courtroom and tell him you're the holder in due course. I'm like, what the fuck is the holder in due course? What are you talking about? I just said the shit. I didn't know what it meant. I never read UCC 1-302. All right. A holder in due course is dealing with negotiable instruments because we're talking about Article 3 of the UCC. So the name of this document is called what? Presentments. But presentment is a what? A negotiable instrument. Let's look at some definitions and let's look at UCC 1-302 first before we continue. Let's look at a couple of things, all right? So let's see if I can pull this up. Because, you got to have it, they just spitting some stuff, don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking? It's like, do you know what you're talking about? Or are you just regurgitating what somebody told you to say? It always remind me, did anybody watch The Matrix? I think the second Matrix movie, when Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus went and talked to the Merovingian. And he was having a discussion with them about causation. It's cause and effect, which is a principle. It gets into free will. It gets into a discussion of free will. We do have free will because every decision sets off a chain of events of a series of cause and effects that you make. And it gets into, a little discussion that do you really have free will and all of that. And that's what he was talking about. But it's at the end of his discussion he was telling them, you only here because somebody told you to come here. Now take your ass on back to, the Oracle and get the fuck out of my face. Ain't dealing with no message, boys. You're not acting under free will. You a puppet. And he gave a demonstration of a puppet. You doing what somebody told you to do. How can you sit here and tell me you're a sovereign and you sitting there doing somebody telling you to do? You got to know what you're saying. So let's get on. SBC University. Let's go into SBC University. Let's go to our dictionaries real quick. Let's go to blacks. I'm going to do an eighth. Let's go to the P's. And let's go to presentment. All right, so there's presentment. Presentment. All right, so look at the different definitions. The act of presenting a land before a court or other tribunal, a formal statement about a matter to be dealt with legally. 2, in criminal procedure, a formal written accusation returned by a grand jury on its own initiative without a prosecutor's previous indictment request. Presentments are obsolete in federal court. And we need to get in some serious discussions about how they operate in grand juries nowadays, because the grand jury is supposed to come in off presentment, but they don't do that anymore. They have the prosecutor. And the history behind that is to protect the grand jurors, because of in the 30s or 40s, you know, the mobsters and so forth, they were killing the grand jury. So this is their excuse for doing it the way that they do it today. But that's not the original spirit and intent of how it's supposed to be conducted. All right, but we still need to address that. I got a lot of information on that. All right, and then here's the third sense of the word. Remember, 3 is a magic number. The formal production of a negotiable instrument for acceptance or payment. Bills and notes. This right here is American jurisprudence, which we have on SBC University. All right. Presentment and dishonor occur, for instance, when the holder of a check attempts to cash it at a drawee bank, but presentment is refused because the drawer lacks sufficient funds on deposit. The demand for payment is presentment. The bank's refusal to pay is dishonor. Now, when we ask telling them they're the holder in due course, they're utilizing our property, our name, to create a commercial item, which is a bond. And you're essentially telling them to recall that bond. Okay, the bond, the reason you put it in a bond and you're accepting it for value and you have to tender them some sort of negotiable instrument is to offset the bond. The bond is evidence of a debt. All right, so since there isn't any money, the only way that you can satisfy an obligation is by setting off that obligation. You can't pay a debt with another debt. You can't pay a debt with Federal Reserve notes. All right, they actually have not the Clearfield Doctrine, but what was that case up in Minnesota, I believe, where that judge, they killed that judge because he ruled against that bank, told him Federal Reserve notes was not real money. Somebody put the name of that case in the chat, and we'll look at it real quick. They put that case in the chat for me, because I can't think of it right now. But anyway, I wanted you to understand the presentment. We're dealing with negotiable instrument. It's called a bill of indictment. Okay, that's why we're trying to find out the nature of the accusation. All right, we're trying to find, is this commercial in nature? If it's commercial in nature, this gets into some talk about debtors' prisons. That's what we're trying to find, is its admiralty. This is what they're hiding. They're hiding all of this stuff that we're talking about. Okay, they're making money off of this, off these cases, these criminal cases, all right, through bonds. No different than how they used to sell slaves. No different. Putting you into some sort of peonage or something like that, or some sort of indentured servitude is what we're going into. So you're telling them you're the holder in due course. You're letting them know that that's my property that you're utilizing, and it needs to be returned to me, because everything returns back to the holder in due course. He has the right to it. Let's look at UCC 3-6. What is this? UCC 3-102. Was it one? Am I saying it right? UCC? No, I ain't doing it right. Hold on. UCC. It's 302. I said 102. I'm tripping out. 302. Hold in due course. All right. So right here, you have to read this very closely. This is very important for you to understand. Subject to subsection 3 and subsection 3106D, holder in due course means the holder of an instrument. So right here, our public servants, you don't have to wonder, look up the word. They give it to us right here. What is an instrument? It means negotiable instrument. All right, give us the definition of the words. The instrument, the negotiable instrument, when issued or negotiated to the holder, there's a difference between the holder in due course and a holder. A holder, there's only 10, I think, defenses against a holder in due course. But the holder is subject to the holder in due course. Okay, holder in due course is the superior position. So you can give a negotiable instrument to somebody, but if you don't have a claim on that instrument, they can become the holder in due course and negotiate it, and then they'll have a right to recoup off of that instrument, not you. So being a holder in due course requires that you give them notice. So let's look at this. All right. So number one, the instrument when issued and negotiated to the holder does not appear such apparent evidence of forgery or alteration or is not otherwise so irregular or incomplete as to call into question its authenticity. All right, so we know dealing with a check or something doesn't look like it's a fake check. Somebody made it, changed something on it, did something like that, all right? Number two, the holder took the instrument, number one, for value. Number two, in good faith. Number three, without notice. Let's look at all the times you see the word notice. UCC 1-102. Without notice that the instrument is overdue or has been dishonored or there is an uncured default with respect to payment of another instrument issued as a part of the same series. Number four, without notice that the instrument contains an unauthorized signature or has been altered. Back in the day or today, you will hear people say that the UCC allows for fraud, and this is why, because in banking, they can get a negotiable. I remember a banker told me this one time. He was telling me how, these fraudulent checks that people write, they still can put claims on them because they have a signature on them. As long as they haven't been notified that it's fraudulent, they'll take it. That's why, fraudulent checks will work for so long. They weren't told that it's a fake signature on it. It can be negotiated and they can accept it. All right? If they don't have notice of that fact. Number five, without notice of any claim to the instrument described in UCC 3-306. This is the reason why they don't give you your negotiable instruments back. They take them and don't give them back to you because you don't have a claim on them. These are things we learned at SBC University. Claims to an instrument. A person taking an instrument other than a person having rights of a holder in due course is subject to a claim of property or possessory right in the instrument or its proceeds, including a claim to rescind the negotiation and to recover the instrument or its proceeds. A person having rights of a holder in due course takes free of the claim to the instrument. All right, so if you haven't got notice that you're a holder in due course, it's just like this. If I'll give you a simple illustration. I think this is a pretty good illustration. Federal Reserve notes are negotiable instruments. So you have let's say you're walking down the street, and I have somebody drops a $100 bill in front of me. Okay, and I pick it up and put it in my pocket. And he turns around and says, that was my $100 bill. I say, I don't know what you're talking about. It's my $100 bill. And we get into an argument, and he calls the police over. And he says, this gentleman took my $100 bill. And I said, I don't know what he's talking about. So the police officer looks at him and says, well, do you have proof of claim that that is your instrument? And he pulls out a photocopy of it, and it has the serial number on it, and hands it to the police. And the police looks at the $100 bill, sees it has the same exact serial number, and says, yes, this is his. How did he get a photocopy of this $100 bill in his pocket if this is not his negotiable instrument? So where's your proof of claim? You're making a claim, well, where's your proof of claim? I got that from, I saw a case where some drug enforcement agents were going out on a drug bus, and they had the drug money that they were going to use for the buy. And before they went out on the drug bus, they photocopied all the money and then filed it in the case. It was already filed in the case before they even went out on the drug. And they had it stamped by the clerk and everything. So they had what? Proof of claim. This is our money we just bought these drugs with. Proof of claim. All right? So where's your proof of claim? All right, so you have to have a claim to this instrument. I found out that early on. Anytime you issue a negotiable instrument, it should be accompanied by UCC-3. The UCC-3 is an amendment, and it's a collateral add where you're adding as collateral your negotiable instrument to Section 4 of your UCC, and it's also giving advance notice to any future holder of that instrument that you have a claim on it and you have holder in due course status. This is the reason why you're doing any kind of status correction. It requires that you give notice. You have to give notice. A lot of people don't study, and it's more involved in this, but I'm just showing you how many people don't study. All right, let's look at B. Notice of discharge of a party other than the discharge in an insolvency proceedings is not notice of a defense under Section A, but discharge is effective against a person who became a holder in due course with notice of the discharge. Public filing or recording of a document does not itself constitute notice of a defense, claim in recoupment, or claim to the instrument. So this is reason you just can't just file a UCC-1. You got to send it to them. That's why we send them a copy of it. Now, when you read all of this stuff and you look at a secure party process, you'll see why certain things are done. Nobody just pulled this shit out of their ass. They're reading the fucking instructions. If they auctioning your house this week you're gonna have to go in court. Only thing you can file, I can think of, if they send it off at auction, you can file bankruptcy, or you can file some sort of that's always a way to stop it, because that's going to put an automatic stay on it. But you need to file some sort of action against them. Where you messed up. See, this is what I get upset with people, because if they send it to auction, that means they sent notices to you, probably some sort of letter, dunning letter, and you didn't answer it. That's how they get to that situation that they're in, because you don't answer correspondence. And then y'all want to know, oh, auction in my house. Well, how many letters did they send you? Did you invoke the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act? Did you tender them a negotiable instrument? Did you do an administrative process against them, then take them into court and sue them for quiet title on your home? Are you in a judicial state or a non-judicial state? That's the first question you have to answer. Are you in a judicial state or a non-judicial state? Because that's very important difference. A judicial state is much easier to mount a defense than in a non-judicial state. You got possession of the property. As long as you maintain possession, you got it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I just wanted to kind of hit y'all with that. I'm not here to talk about foreclosure, by the way. I just threw out you a quick answer. I'm not here talking about foreclosure. I don't like it when people do that. Don't do that. We talking about something else. I'm not here talking about foreclosure. I'll do a class on foreclosure. I got a ton of stuff on foreclosure at SBC University, a ton of things. You can go over there, and for $49, you can peruse through our library and find all kind of court documents. You can file anything you want. It's a whole library of things over there that you can utilize. But I'm talking about a criminal case right now. All right, so as you take my mind off what I'm talking about, but that's my fault. It's not your fault. All right, so let's get back to the video and listen to what's going on.
Making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant. I accept for value and return for value all charging instruments in this matter, and make my exemption as principal available for discharge of all obligations and instruments in this matter, and make my exemption as principal available for discharge of all.
We can proceed in one of two ways. You can tell me your name and your date of birth, or I can issue a warrant for your arrest.
Can you? Read.
Your Honor,
I need your name. Your picture here shows the same individual as I'm speaking to as your name, Erica Beth Trudell, date of birth February 28, 1973.
Your Honor, am I to understand that the Honorable Judge has made a judicial determination that I'm not afforded due process rights and freedom of speech in these proceedings? For the record.
You're absolutely afforded due process and freedom of speech. I just need your name and your date of birth.
Okay. Just say it all right.
Your Honor, for the record, capital E, small r, small I, small c, small a, I'm the holder in due course here as a third-party intervener making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant.
Read the rest. Read
I
it.
accept for value and return for value all charging instruments in this matter, and make my exemption as principal available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case.
I do not
dispute any of the facts contained in the charging instrument. Please use my exemption for offset and adjustment of the public charges against the defendant, and release the order of the court to me immediately.
Okay, may I have your name, please?
May I have your name, please?
And it's not my hearing, it's your hearing. Is your last name Trudell? You gave me your first name.
Just Erica.
Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Had a little problem. Let's get back to it.
This is a court of record.
This is the Superior Court we call ourselves of Maricopa County.
Is this a court record?
Yes, is this a court of record?
Is there a court report?
Yes.
Is there a court reporter? Yes. Okay, then for the record, I'm the holder in due course. Here's a third-party intervener making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant. I accept for value and return for value all charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption as principal available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case.
Ma'am, would you stop reading what you're looking at there? Tell me your name and your date of birth.
I am the holder in due course. Here is a third-party intervener making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant, Your Honor.
I accept for
That
value.
doesn't make any sense to me.
I
You must
accept
have
for
a
value.
name.
I accept for value.
I accept for value and return for value all charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption as principal available for discharge of
Ma'am,
all.
we can proceed in one of two ways. You can tell me your name and your date of birth, or I can issue a warrant for your arrest.
Can you? Read.
Your Honor,
I need your name. Your picture here shows the same individual as I'm speaking to as your name, Erica Beth Trudell, date of birth February 28, 1973.
Just read this.
Your Honor, am I to understand that the Honorable Judge has made a judicial determination that I'm not afforded due process rights and freedom of speech in these proceedings? For the
You are
record.
absolutely afforded due process and freedom of speech. I just need your name and your date of birth.
Okay. Just say it all right.
Your Honor, for the record, capital E, small r, small I, small c, small a, I'm the holder in due course here as a third-party intervener making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the
Now
defendant.
read the rest. Read
I
everything.
accept for value and return for value all charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption as principal available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case.
I do not
dispute any of the facts contained in the charging instrument. Please use my exemption for offset and adjustment of the public charges against the defendant and release the order of the court to me immediately.
May I have your name, please?
May I have your name, please?
Ma'am, it's not my hearing, it's your hearing. Is your last name Trudell? You gave me your first name.
Just Erica.
Just Erica,
Or secured party.
secured party.
Court
Can I have your
notes
name,
record
please?
That the defendant has identified herself as Erica.
Secured party.
Not identified her last name. The defendant's picture booking photo matches the individual on the computer screen that is checked in this morning. And this is your not guilty arraignment hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to ensure a plea of not guilty on your behalf as to the charges
Sir,
and
I
to
need
schedule
your
your
name.
hearing dates.
You need his
As the
name.
defendant in this case, you do absolutely have some rights. I'm going to review those with you.
Your Honor, I
You have
need
the
your
right to
name
remain
first,
silent,
please.
Ma'am, do not interrupt me,
Interrupt him
or we
again.
will not be.
I need your name,
continuing the hearing, and
please.
a warrant will be issued for your arrest.
I need your name, please.
I need your name, please, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you have the right to remain silent with regard to the charges. You have a right to an attorney. You have the right to a jury trial for any felony offense.
Is
You have a
there?
right to be present for all future court proceedings. However, if you fail to appear for any future hearings, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Any bond posted on your behalf could be forfeited. Your hearing or trial could proceed in your absence, and new charges could be filed
For the
against you.
record, is the honorable judge
Additionally, if you're
refusing to
absent, any bond posted on your behalf could be forfeited. Your hearing or trial could proceed in your absence, and new charges could be filed
For the
against
record,
you.
is the honorable judge
Additionally, if your
refusing to give
absence
his name?
prevents your sentencing from occurring within 90 days of any
For the
conviction, you may
record,
lose
is
your
the
right to a
honorable
direct
judge
appeal.
refusing to give his name?
It's important that you keep the court advised of your current address until your matter is completely resolved, and that you stay in touch with your attorney through all stages of your case. Today, all prior release orders will remain in effect, and all bonds will be affirmed. Motions to modify release conditions will not be heard today. If you wish to have your release conditions reviewed, contact your attorney in about a week and request a motion be filed on your behalf. Please save any questions for when you speak to your assigned attorney. For today's hearing, you'll be represented by the Public Defender's Office. It will be appearing on behalf of your assigned attorney with the Public Defender's Office that she will give you a further advisement at this time.
You might understand that the judge is refusing to state his name for the record.
I am taking care of the hearing today.
Am I understanding that the judge is refusing to give me,
State his name. for the
state his
record.
name for the record?
Well, you'll get a minute entry that'll have that information on there. You can contact the public defender's
It's a
office
yes or no
next
question.
week.
It's a yes and no
And
question. It's a yes or no question. Am I understanding that the honorable judge has been refusing to give me his name for the record?
So call the office next week and they will give you the name of your assigned attorney. You are currently on pretrial services release. You're going to remain on pretrial services release. You need to keep in contact with them and obey their orders. If you do not, then you can be taken into custody.
Do you know how anyone has a claim against
If
me?
you want the release conditions changed, that
Or
is
no, I'm
something
sorry,
that
do you have a
the
claim
attorney
against
can
me?
request, but it must be done in writing.
For the record, do you have a claim
There
against
are a
me?
number of court dates that the court is going to give you.
Excuse me,
I will
for
also
for
send
the
it to
record,
you.
do you have a claim against me?
No, I don't.
Okay.
The court dates are on the piece of
Do you know
paper.
Do you know anyone who does have a claim against me?
Ma'am, you need to stop interrupting the
Yeah,
public
let her
defender.
finish, let her.
So,
Wait, is she a
on the
public
court
defender?
dates, some of them you are not required to be there in person. So keep in contact with your lawyer so you know when to be present in person in court. If you are supposed to be
Ask
there
for
in
her name
person
so
in
you can
court and
send
you
her
are
a
not,
letter
then
of
again, a
instructions
warrant
from
can
this
issue
matter.
for your arrest. Finally, and most importantly, please do not talk about the facts of your case with anyone. It is true that anything you say can and will be used against you. And only talk to your attorney and their staff so that it remains confidential.
Counsel, this state your appearance, please.
Peter Christensen on behalf of the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for the state, Your Honor.
You understand I was not refusing to give you my name. I'm the assigned judicial officer for all arraignments. Name is Richard Hintz, last name Hinz. The court notes that you also need an initial appearance on one count in your case. The police originally charged you with one count of aggravated assault, one count of resisting arrest. The county attorney charged a second count of aggravated assault. Defendant has
For the
been
record.
released to pretrial services. Court
Are you
believes those
muted?
release
For the
conditions are
record.
appropriate.
I'd like to
Even
ask
given that new count, the court's inclined to affirm
assigned
that
public
today.
defender to not make any more statements until I send them a letter of instructions.
Counsel for the defendant.
For the record, I would like the public defender to not make any more statements for me until she reviews my statements. And I need the public
Again, we would
defender's
ask the
name,
court-
please.
Ma'am, stop talking, all right? We would ask the court not to impose...
Excuse me. Excuse me, you don't tell me
We
this.
would ask the court to place her on pretrial services for all the charges.
Excuse me, you're a public
Excuse me,
defender.
you're my
To
public
affirm the
defender?
release conditions and not take the defendant into custody or not issue a warrant.
Excuse
And the court has affirmed those relief conditions, continue to report
Yes.
to pretrial services.
Ask
Their
the
phone number
public
was given to
defender
you
to not make
previously.
any statements
Checking with them on a regular
until she
basis. If you
receives
fail to
a
report to
letter of
pretrial
instructions.
services, they could request that the court issue a warrant for your arrest.
I would like to
Court of District
request,
pleads of not guilty on all charges. You are presumed to be not guilty.
I would
schedule
again
some hearing
state
dates. Do you
for the
have a piece of
record.
paper
for
and a
the-
pen to write these dates
Can you
down?
request the court, again, for the record, to tell my public, tell the public, tell the.
Again,
Have an
for the
initial
record,
Pretrial conference, July 8th, 8:15 before
I
Commissioner
would ask
Zager.
all the public defendant statements to be
Comprehensive
stricken from the
pretrial
record
conference,
until
August
my
9th,
instruct- to be stricken
8:30
from the
before
record.
Judge Fox. Final trial management conference, October 6th, 8:30 before Judge Fox. We have a trial assignment date, October 20th, 9 o'clock before the assignment
I would
judge.
ask for all the public defender
Your last
statements
day
to
for
be
trial to
stricken
begin
from
is
the
November
record.
23rd. And some of those hearings may not require in-person attendance. Talk to your attorney. You can verify.
Oh, wait, you know what,
the
Todd,
source
just
of
go
the
with
warrant
Don,
not
guys.
issued for your
Ask-
arrest.
Do you know anyone who
Check with
does
pretrial
have a
services
claim
on a
against
regular
me?
basis.
Don't say about the
Do you
public
have any
defender.
questions for the court this morning?
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do. Do you know anyone who does have a claim against me?
Well, ma'am, the state has filed charges against you. There are 3 counts alleged in the indictment. You should have received a copy of
That
that
wasn't a question.
already.
Your Honor, with all due respect, I'm asking, do you know anyone who does have a claim against me?
I don't know what you mean, ma'am. I'm not aware of any other claims. I haven't checked the entire database throughout the state of Arizona to figure if anybody has any claims.
So for the record,
For the record,
let the court, for the record, there is no claim against you in this court.
so for the record, there's no
You seem to
claim
be listening
against
to
me in the
somebody
court.
Repeating what they're saying, that's not helping you at all. We've concluded our hearing. All I needed to do today was enter plead but not guilty, confirm that you knew who your attorney was, and give you hearing dates.
Well, I'm asking that all statements from the public defender be stricken from the record until I contact her with my documents.
The court will deny that request. Thank you, ma'am, for calling in today. That concludes today's hearing.
There you go. Find out. There you go. Whatever. Sounds good to me.
This was brutal to watch. Now y'all are starting to get the sense why I started at school. And this is like 90% of the stuff over there that they are in, like these sovereign citizen video web YouTube pages that are popping up all over the place because people see it as an excellent opportunity to make a fool out of everybody and make some money at the same time. This is why I'm doing this. Yeah, I think some people think I just do things just to make money. And like, no, I've been watching these videos for years. Before I had a school. I was watching these videos and I got sick of it. I said, you know what? And I see how somebody, look, this is an example. This is why I want you to listen to me. When y'all see me go off on videos and people say, oh, he's rude, he talks, calm down, all of this kind of stuff, you know. And I hate when people say something, how can I get out of this, Yusef? This is an example of somebody trying to get out of something. What I mean by that, they ain't take no time to study nothing. They just got somebody behind them telling them what to say. They don't even know what they saying. They all over the place. Half the stuff they saying ain't even applicable to is not even in the flow of what's going on with the proceeding. This is a good example of somebody trying to just get out of something. Yusef, how I get out of paying child support. Yusef, how I get out of this traffic ticket I got while I was doing 120 miles an hour in a school zone. She got an aggravated assault case. Aggravated assault can be you pull a gun on somebody. You got to be an honorable individual. See, the reason you have to be an honorable individual is because, first of all, the ultimate assistance that you're going to receive is going to be from the creator of the balanced universe. Nothing is going to go in your favor, not nothing you read off a piece of paper, not if you're not an honorable individual. You think you're going to go out here and kill somebody and just supposed to just read something off a paper and get out of it? Is that what you really think? This is the I respect anybody who has the nerve to go into a court and speak up for themselves. However, you have to study to show yourself approved. You ain't approved if you ain't studied. You're not approved. Ain't nobody gonna prove that. That was unbearable. That was hard to watch. That was hard to watch, you know? So I think, you know, I'm not going to keep going into it. I read where this came from. It came from a document called Presentments in Chapter 4. Read and study that document. I'm making another audio of that document. It's just a funny thing. I'm actually in the middle of making an audio for that document. Hopefully it'll be up tomorrow for you. And y'all can listen to it. The difference between judicial and non-judicial is in a judicial state, they have to take you to court before they can foreclose. In a non-judicial state, they don't have to take you to court before they foreclose. That's the difference. That's the fundamental difference. Before they can go and sell the property, they have to go to the court in the judicial state to do that. They have a list of judicial and non-judicial states. Just go on the internet, put in judicial and non-judicial, and they'll give you a list of every state whether it's judicial or non-judicial. I don't know what to say on that. All I can say is that it's very obvious that she didn't know anything. She didn't know what she was saying, why she was saying it, or anything like that. She was just letting somebody tell her what to say. And if you are letting somebody tell you what to say, you're not going to be very effective at this. This information got to be a part of you. You got to know. You have to be done. Yeah, for you to even have the confidence to believe in what you're saying, you have to have studied to substantiate what you're saying. The guy the other day, he already knew what he was talking about. That's why they couldn't shake him. He wasn't just regurgitating something. He was calm. He know what he was doing. He know why he's here. He got his information. He got handcuffed. All kind of stuff happened, but he stayed even keeled the whole time. Read that document, Court Survival Guide, too. My Cash App is $, Yusef L19. I actually had it, let me see if, do I have my, yeah, let me put this up. My Cash App. Y'all want my Cash App? That's my Cash App and my Instagram. Go over there and join my Instagram. Get on my TikTok. Get on, when you go onto my Instagram, go to my link tree and check out our blog talk. Got links to everything that is associated with me. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. My TikTok is starting to pick up steam. I started to pay that, pay that a lot more attention. So go over there and check that out. Make sure you join. As I was saying, it's $49 for the rest of this month. Or the SBC University. That is forever. When you join at $49 a month, that's forever. Okay. And a legal resident green card, can you become an SBC? My status is a green card holder. I mean, you not with no green, well, I really don't know. I mean, if you've been naturalized, I know a naturalization certificate acts the same way. I don't think a green card holder can do it. You're not from this country. You're not from this country. I mean, I don't know. I don't deal with stuff like that. A lot of people ask me that question. I know a naturalization. I've looked at a naturalization certificate and I understand that it serves the same purpose as a birth certificate. But really, it really comes down to that social security number. That social security number is the number that ties you into their system. So, yeah, you could. I don't see why you can't. How you would go about it, the UCC process is just a claim on property. The secure party process is just a process where you would put in a claim against all your property so you can be first in line, because that's what they're doing. They're having claims. That's why we're in here asking them, do you have a claim against me? That's why when I was showing you OCGA 1711-1 here in Georgia, when they found you guilty, they put a lien against all your property. Well, that's what you're doing. You're putting a priority perfected lien on your property prior to anyone else attempting to do it. So you're first in line, first in time, and you become the creditor. You are the creditor anyway. You should claim your property because that's all your property. So if you have a social security number, in theory, you could do the same thing because all your property in their system is attached to that social security number. So anytime they come at you, they're coming at that social security number. That's what they're doing. Because you're a number in their system, not a name. A number. A number. Hope that answers your question. Don't quote me on everything I'm saying. I haven't done a sufficient amount of research. I'm just theorizing right now based off of, my understanding of things. But, it just stands to reason that you could. And with that, that's it for me today, man. I ain't going to keep y'all long today. I just wanted to kind of drop a little knowledge on you today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video for review. How y'all like these videos? Put a yes in the chat if you like these reviews. Put a yes in the chat. A yes in the chat. Most people don't have cojones to even attempt to stand up and try this. She certainly should have been more prepared. And whoever's telling her to do this is doing her no favors. I agree. What can be used against them? This pissed me off. I know it's not personal and they are extorting people. Really pissed me off. Well, I'm not saying they're extorting people. They are administrators. They're doing a job. They got a job they're doing. You can't get mad at somebody for doing a job. I'm going to do a show talking about who's behind the system. Y'all already know who's behind the system. This is all Zionist created. Y'all don't understand that. That's something else y'all refuse to understand. Who is behind all of this? That is who you need to be starting to focus on. All right, cool. That's great. Somebody says, why are you L? L me. I don't know why asking me why I'm an L is the same thing as asking somebody why their name is Mike L or Gabriel or Urael or Ezekiel or Daniel. Like every angel is named El. Ain't no bays. I don't even know why y'all got this Turkish name Bay. In our organization, we didn't have no bays. Everybody was El. And the reason why it's El is because El means God. And don't I come out every day and say peace to the gods? You seem to associate El with, the Moors make me sick with that shit. Y'all make me fucking sick with that shit. That ain't, y'all don't have no fucking ownership of the word El, motherfucker. Superman's name was Ka'el. The Jews understand what it, y'all don't understand what it means. Y'all wasn't wearing these bad, they want El. You know, why do you have an El on your name? El means God. Yusef El. Just like Gabriel, Ezekiel. Daniel means God is my judge. Michael means who dares to be like God. All right, these are names, powerful names. And y'all need to stop this garbage of naming your children a name don't have no fucking meaning. No wonder these children are crazy like they are. Give your child a name that means, why do you think Michael Jordan? He a powerful name. The way Michael is an archangel. Michael Jackson, Michael Tyson. Michael is a powerful name. Very powerful name. Start understanding the meaning of the name. Now, understand what El is. El means God. Let me see if I can show you this real quick. Let me see if I can put this on the screen. All right, so right here you can see names of angels, list of angels in theology. We got Abator, Abathan, Agiel, Zazael. What is Agibol? I don't even know these. Amathel, Anathiel, Arakiel, Arariel, Adriel, Apollyon, Ariel, Azazel. That was one of the fallen angels. One of the names of Lucifer. Barakiel, Bazaliel. Come out. You see all these L's? I can't. Daniel, see? Daniel means watcher. I thought Daniel meant God is my judge. See all these names? Archangel, principality, El. See all these names? El, Japhael. Because this word El, the reason why is because El means what? Well, right here it is right here. El, deity. El, Hebrew, El, Syriac. All right, right there. Word meaning God or deity, or referring as a proper name to any one of multiple major ancient Near Eastern deities. So you see me say all the time, peace to the gods. And that was because my original audience were all Moors. So everybody had these names, but El means God, man. You don't know that? El means God. That's what it means. I didn't take off till I started using Yusef El. When I couldn't even take that name back. When I started calling myself Yusef El, I got famous. I had that name for 20 years and never used it. After 20 years of having that name, I decided to use it. And the first time I used it, I was catapulted into the public eye and became famous. It was crazy. I was tripping. And my name means God shall increase, or increasing, or adding to. So that's why my name is El, okay? Then you look at the Superman movie, notice how all of their names were El, because they're trying to tell you that Superman is a god. And the creators of Superman are all Jews. Jews created DC and Marvel Comics. Stan Lee is Jewish. Stan Lee was a very, very, very educated man. His knowledge, I would have loved to sit down and talk to him and picked his brain of the information, because he put so much stuff in those comic books. Let me tell you something, those comic books were not for children. They put science, history, mathematics, all kind of stuff in those comic books, man. And what they did is they took real shit and mixed it with science fiction. That's all Stan Lee did. It was incredible. That's how he got so much, he created a world off of it with Marvel Comics. But DC, I never was really into DC, but Superman, I like Flash, Superman, Batman was pretty good. I even like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is, she's definitely an icon. Wonder Woman is an icon. But when you look into those books and you see, when you start reading those magazines, understand who wrote them and the names that are utilized in there and the knowledge that is put in there. I give credit to comic books for helping me with my reading skills, because I love comics so much. You read comics all the time, and they had big words. You had to learn a lot of big words. It wasn't for kids. I couldn't understand how somebody, you read comics. I'm like, have you ever read a comic book? Have you ever read a comic book? You tripping, man. Get your kid, get your son, get your people, get your children a comic book. Oh, there it is right here. Okay. You're welcome. So that's where, the name El, if you're wondering about that. And peace to the gods actually came from the 5%ers. They're the ones that actually, started saying peace to the gods, because they understood that you were God. Allah, arm, leg, arm, head. That's what Allah stands for, things like that. Clarence Jowers, or, the 5%ers, Clarence 13X, branched off from, the Nation of Islam. A lot of this information, I have to give credit to Elijah Muhammad. A lot of the stuff that you see, even the Moorish Science Temple, with Noble Drew Ali, you do know the story between Noble Drew Ali and Master Fard Muhammad prior to, Master Fard Muhammad. They didn't get along with each other. They were calling Noble Drew Ali a fraud. You get back into the history of this. So it's a real interesting story that somebody should investigate, to really understand a lot of the things that were going on. They used to have a article on the internet, I'll see if I can dig it up, that went into all of that, the history and the relationship between the Moorish Science Temple and the Nation of Islam, which is not very, nice, in my opinion. A lot of people don't know that, but El, a lot of people think when they see that name El, they think you're with the Moorish Science Temple, or that you're Muslim. And even though I did go through the School of Islam, the organization I was in, we looked at all these things as schools. So we studied all of them. We studied the Quran Circle 7. We studied the Quran. We studied the Torah. We studied the New Testament. We studied a lot of different, we studied the 7 tablets of creation with the Sumerians. We studied everything. And that's why that's why I'm so versatile, because I can see you got to stand outside of all these religions, because all these religions are man-made. Your religion should be the truth. Your religion should be the truth. Something is either true or it's not true. I'm not into following no man. I'm just not into it. So that's just me. Actually, Farad Muhammad, what? What about Farad Muhammad? You got 6+ cat carrier boxes of comments from the 70s. Yeah, maybe. You know, it might be interesting. You know, if I, you know, with the comic books, you know, you had your favorites. It's like my favorite comic book characters, I'll let y'all know, was Thor. I was a very, very, very loved Thor. Taught me about Norse gods. You know, your days of the week are named after them. Monday is the moon god Dina. Tuesday is the war god. Wednesday is Hudin or Odin. Thursday is Frigga, which is Odin's wife. And then, Thursday is Thor. Thor's day is really what it is. It's named after Thor. And Friday is named after Frigga, which is Odin's wife and Thor. It was really interesting, you know, that this mixture of what they call, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll think of it in a minute, but, you know, it's non-Christian type of information, you know, like Easter is from Ishtar, who's the fertility goddess, the goddess of fertility. That's why they have the eggs and the rabbit, you know, who's really, that's why you have the Masons, and then you have the Eastern Stars. But it's Eastern Star is Ishtar. That's why it's the female branch of the Masons. You know, they the female branch of Ishtar. You know, she's that deity. So, you know, it's just things like that. You know, you'll start to see, once you start to study all of this stuff, you just see how it all connects together. I'm not no religious person. I use words like God, which is a German word, and the German language didn't exist until 750 AD. There is no word God anywhere in the Bible. The words are Elohim, El, Adonai, Yahweh Elohim, you know, El, Eli, like in Matthew 27:46, Eli, lema sabachthani, which is Aramaic, Theos, which is Greek. You know, all these are the words. Ain't no God in there, nowhere. Ain't no God in there. I don't know why y'all get caught. Y'all get mad. You know, there's only one God. When the very word in your Bible is a plural. Elohim is a plural. Elo is singular. Elo is a plural. So, soldier of the right, what's going on? Appreciate it. So, you know, you stand outside a religion. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I think that, see, this is where the atheists and the agnostic people and people like that, they kind of, you know, the atheists primarily, where they kind of just like look stupid, because since they don't believe in religion, there must not be any God. And so since there ain't any God, they can do what they want to do. If I want to be a homosexual, I can do that. I feel like if I want to identify as somebody, I can do that. So they don't think there's any punishment for anything. They don't think there's a judgment associated with that. And I'll be honest with you, really, in a sense, they are right, because you judge yourself. You do judge yourself, you know, because there's a cause and effect associated with everything. So there is an effect for your actions. You just have to be willing to accept the consequences of it. Whether you're going to be burning in hell forever, I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to that at all. That's a scare tactic. But I do think you can give yourself hell. I think you can give yourself hell. And you don't have anything to blame but nobody but yourself. We'll get into a discussion about that one day. My GMA told me she couldn't walk across hell on a spider web to become an Eastern Star. I don't know. I do have an SSN, been a resident for 30 years. Thank you for the info. You're welcome. Lord Michael is his name, not Jesus or Yeshua. No, I don't agree with that. Michael is not Jesus. Now, Michael is not Jesus. I don't agree with that. Allegedly, the angel Gabriel is the one that impregnated Mary. Y'all think there was an immaculate conception, but it was actually the angel Gabriel, who was a man who came and went in unto Mary, said, I'm going to go in unto you, and got her pregnant with the Holy Spirit. But, that right there ain't too popular. Y'all like to think that babies just magically appear in women's wombs. There's ridiculous type of stuff that, that is being, like talking snakes. If you really just look at religion and the stuff they got people believing, it's ridiculous. That's why they think they can tell you anything, because you'll believe any damn thing. You got to study this stuff, man. If you're gonna have a religion that you believe in, that you're gonna be faithful to, you should know everything about it. You should, what was told to us is, why are you gonna read the Bible and you ain't never looked into it in its original language? It only take about 2 years to learn Hebrew. Why don't you, if you really believe in the Bible like that, why aren't you reading it in its original language so you can make a determination of, because what you're doing is trusting the translator and the transliterator of those languages, that they're telling you the truth. And I'm not, why would you at least you could do is use a Strong's Concordance, because somebody just told me something about Psalms 82:6, and they said, well, that's not what God means judges. That's not what that fucking means. That God right there is the same word. That's Elohim. That's the same word they're using in Genesis 1:26. But people will tell you that. People will tell you that 1 John 5:7, there are three that bear witness, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. These three are one, and that justifies that Jesus was in the beginning with God, and that wasn't in any Bible prior to the 15th century. These are things that you could go on the internet and check for yourself. Just check for yourself. But you have to give people what they want, so they'll want what you have to give. So you can't come to a Christian trying to help them and talking about using Allah and Prophet Muhammad. And no, but that's where y'all Moors be fucking up at. Y'all just come to Christians and everything, talking about, they don't give a fuck about your beliefs. They looking at you like, nigga, I need to convert you to Christianity. You a heathen. It's like, we all ain't black. They looking at you, nigga, get out of my face. That's how you look at it. You ain't trying to use no kind of tact or anything in your approach to, we used to call it tableaking people, trying to get somebody to convert over to your way of thinking. You just trying to beat them over the head with your belief. And everybody looking at you like you stupid, because people already have their beliefs. And as a matter of fact, it's not even really the belief that's the power. The real power in your belief is your faith. Do you truly have faith in it? Is it in your heart? There's a book called The Book of Abramelin, the Mage. He's a Jewish mystic, and I like that book because in there he made a statement that if you're going to do any type of magical type of formulas, don't leave your religion, because you need your faith, because your faith is what propels it. That's why if you look at our religions, there's rich people and miracles in every religion. I don't understand why people can't say that. There are wealthy Christians. Miracles and blessings happen to Christians. There are wealthy Muslims. Miracles and blessings happen to Muslims. There are wealthy Jews. Miracles and blessings happen to Jews, because it's according to their faith. They have faith in what they believe. And you're going to try to come in and disrupt that when their faith has been serving them well. You sound like a damn fool. It don't matter if you're right or not. You sound like a fool, because you're not interested in teaching. You're interested in being right. And that's why you'll never be a teacher, and you'll never get people to convert over to you, because you want to be right. And you're not no teacher, because a teacher, you're trying to indoctrinate somebody. A true teacher tries to extract something. A true teacher looks into the individual and makes him find something in himself. We got too many people trying to program people today. Thank you for the 20 bones. Thank you for the 20 bones. I appreciate it. Soldier of Right. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Can I get $100 right now? I only got $80. I got $80. I guess I'll be happy with my 80. Thank you, Soldier of Right. Appreciate that. I'm trying to get out of here with at least $100. Soldier Right gave me $40. Thank you, Soldier Right. I appreciate that. URK Balder Multi, thank you, sir, for the $4.99. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, y'all, I'm going to have to get up on out of here. It's time. Gave y'all a little bit of everything today, and I appreciate it. Join SBC University, $49. When you join, make sure you join, hit on the affiliate and join Currency Circulator. This week, we're going to be having meetings. It's going to be big, I promise you. Peace to the gods. I'm out. See y'all on the next one. Peace. I'm out.